All right, you ugly, yellow, no good, filthy animals. It's time to dust off your starter jackets, rip off those tearaways, and blow into your game cartridges. I'm Sam Blandford.
I'm Pat Sellers.
And I'm Simon Blandford.
And we wish it was the 90s. Welcome back, you fans of Christmas, which I'm not. We're doing a Christmas special today. We steered away from Die Hard because Sean's not on this pod, and we've gone for the family favourite Home Alone. Today we will be delving into Chris Columbus's. I didn't even realise it was Chris Columbus until today. His 1990 film Home Alone, and I had a great time watching it. How about yourself, Pat?
Are we not doing Home Alone 3?
Not even Macaulay Culkin in that one.
Doing Home Alone. Ah, jeez.
Oh, no. Well, I prepared for Die Hard, but no.
Actually, before we get into Home Alone, how you find Christmas, Pat?
I love Christmas. Are you the resident Grinch, are you?
Yeah, I hate it, eh? I really love like the day that you spend with your family and stuff, but pretty much everything else I hate.
So no extreme decorating of the house.
Look, no, there's a elf on a shelf in our house at the moment, and I'm counting the days till he goes back to the North Pole.
Yeah, I'm the opposite. Almost bordering on having a problem with it. Sister-in-law came around the other day and said that it looked like Christmas threw up in our house.
Simon, Christmas?
I'm somewhere in between you two, I think.
It's reasonable.
I'll be icing, sugaring the floor. I think we talked about this about a year ago, Pat. Having young children. I think we did a pod really close to Christmas last year.
Yeah, the footprints.
Yeah, footprints.
That's a genius idea. She might actually steal that this year. Oh, no. Ivy's only 2. She doesn't quite get enough.
It's a genius idea until you have to do it more than once.
Okay.
Sorry. We're going to go our normal, do some memories around Home Alone and our thoughts this time. We will talk about our favourite or best bits, do a little bit of a character draft, and we'll do some recasting at the end. So, Pat, what were your initial memories from the 90s when you first watched Home Alone, or subsequent watches, and how'd you find it this time?
Like a lot of these things, when you're watching them back, doing this podcast, watching a few of these things back, you realise how old some of what you sort of thought you were childhood movies and stuff were. Like, this came out in 1990, so I was 4. So I don't remember when I first saw it, but it was like always there. Like, I've probably watched it, or rather this or Home Alone 2, every year around Christmas for the last 30 odd years. But I don't know when I first watched it. It was probably around the same time I started demanding a whole cheese pizza to myself. It's just one of those movies that's always been there. Like, Christmas is coming, you've got to find room for Home Alone or Home Alone 2.
Yeah, interesting you say that, because I was like that for a long period of time, and since I've
started hating Christmas.
Since I've married my wife, even probably just been with my wife, it's been replaced by Love Actually.
Oh yeah, that's fair.
As the movie that we have to watch around Christmas time. Sorry, Simon. Memories?
I've got no real memories that are interesting, but just to add to just what you're saying there, Love Actually, like, I don't think it needs to be replaced. Right? Like, at this, the Christmas season is all of December. I'm sure you could squeeze in Love Actually and Home Alone.
Can watch more than one movie.
No, the Christmas season is only the 24th and the 25th.
Yeah. I know no major memories of it. Apart from any of the standard ones that you watch it every year for 30 years, as Pat said. But yeah, loved watching it again, and I just picked up a few new things this time around, which I hadn't picked up actually in the first 400 viewings.
Oh, what are those? Carry on with that.
Well, I just realised that the name of Old Man Marley is quite significant in the sense that maybe it's a coincidence, but Ebenezer Scrooge of A Christmas Carol, his business partner is called Jacob Marley, who dies. You never meet him actually, but he's dead at the start of A Christmas Carol, Jacob Marley. And I'm guessing that's what Marley is named after.
It's good stuff.
Was Marley the old boy?
Yeah.
The shoveler.
Yeah, the shoveler.
Who do you reckon Officer Balzak is named after?
What a character.
Who's the better tail, the shoveler from Home Alone 1 or the pigeon lady from Home Alone 2?
Ooh, good question. Yeah, I think the shoveler. For mine, it's the shoveler.
I think I'd probably go Pigeon Lady, but I think I'm just a bigger fan of 2 in general.
Yeah, same.
But because I watched 2 semi recently, and so there's good contrast on when he first meets, gets confronted by the shoveler in this movie, and he screams in his face and runs away. And the second one, he screams in the pigeon lady's face and runs away, and then stops, and then turns back and apologizes for screaming in her face. Really good growth.
I love the Old Man Marley character. I feel like he could have done a little bit more to dispel the rumors of being like a murderer.
That's something I picked up on this time. I was like, this is a weird conversation.
Like now that we're adults, we understand that kids can be scared of things. And I think he knows that Kevin screamed the last time he saw him, right? Maybe slamming his blood-stained hand on the counter directly next to Kevin without saying anything is probably not going to help matters.
I think a lot of the adults could have done a lot better in this film.
Well, let's talk about that.
That's kind of the theme of it, isn't it?
We've got to talk about that.
They just give up after trying to call anyone in France. They just completely give up. The police don't try them again. Don't try any more neighbors. She's just like, oh well, I'm just going to have to fly back, and it's going to take days, but that's fine.
Yeah, some really suspect parenting is the theme of both these movies.
And then at the end, when the dad arrives home, he's just like, how are you, kid? There's no emotional hello or anything. He just ruffles his hair and that's it.
Yeah, it's almost like he expected it to happen or something. Maybe he knew, when they're on the plane and Kate's asking Peter about, I feel like I've forgotten something. And they're going through the list of things. I reckon he remembered Kevin straight away and was like, I'm not going to miss out on this holiday. maybe she won't remember for the next week. We'll be fine.
It's funny, now that you have kids and are married and stuff and you watch something like that, obviously if you would go home if you forgot a child, but you've been in situations like that where you've stuffed up. You kind of want to keep doing the fun thing, but you shouldn't ask, but you always ask and you make the situation worse. That police effort, quote unquote effort, to find Kevin, oh my God, doesn't exactly instill confidence in their ability to protect and serve. Just knocks on the door 4 times. He doesn't even say it's the police. He just knocks on the door 4 times. It's the police. It's your parents called us from Paris, Kevin. There's no effort, and the movie's all the more better for it, of course. But it has to be noted there's some shocking plot holes.
Yeah, most of them fooled by, well, if that didn't happen, the movie doesn't happen.
Yeah, I mean, Kevin just walking around supermarkets doesn't tell anyone about being home alone. Doesn't tell there's that kindly checkout lady who's asking all these questions. He knows there's robbers coming to possibly rob him and maim him. Doesn't say a word.
She does. She's the exception to the adult rule in the show, I think.
She does well.
Now, does it hold up? It was 1990. Are there things that you spotted that potentially wouldn't hold up today?
Well, I think watching it again, yeah, it holds. You can watch it every year and it's still good. There's still funny stuff in there. Does it hold up for today? I'd go, my brother's got older kids and both my nephews love it and now constantly want to order a lovely cheese pizza all to themselves as well. So it must hold up. Got a whole nother generation coming through.
Ben, you think it holds up?
Parts of it don't. I mean, Buzz's room is a shrine to everything that we talk about, including a yellow Walkman.
Nostalgia in that room.
Yeah.
But the other things, so I started watching it with my 4-year-old and quickly turned it off after 8 minutes, probably 10 minutes. Which I was like, I'm not a prude.
Why'd you turn it off?
So when they started talking about the South Bend Slayer,
Cool.
maybe he's a South Bend shovel slayer, murdered his whole family.
Great slow zoom in on Buzz when that's going on. By the way, great slow zoom in.
Yeah, we're here for the media studies film analysis, and at the end, Marv, he's like, maybe he committed suicide.
Yeah, I did definitely noted that.
Couple of mentions of the word ass, which I don't care, and my 4-year-old would just not even notice. But yeah, just a couple of things I never picked up before watching it before, because I don't think I've watched it since I've had kids.
For me, it 100% holds up. 100% holds up. A couple of little awkward moments, obviously, and I agree with you, Sam. But I think from the age of 7 upwards, it's like absolutely fine.
Yeah, I think it's just like the way, and also the way the family talked to Kevin at the start. I was like, oh, this is a bit rough.
Ridiculous overreaction on the part of the family.
Yeah, they are pretty hard on him. He's pretty annoying though.
Yeah, he is. Can we talk about Buzz's room though?
Yeah, did you think it was a bit like he probably shouldn't be fishing through his room, like especially when he pulls out the Playboy and stuff, and just given Buzz's age, it's like if you get a black light in there, it's going to light up like the 4th of July.
100%. And Buzz, like when I was a kid, I thought Buzz was like 17, 18. There are
Great
times
question.
He might be 13, Buzz?
I don't know how
30?
old he is, but pretty funny. Is it true that French babes don't shave their pits? I was like, and then I wrote, how old is Buzz supposed to be?
Yeah, I don't know, but some of the stuff in his room, so the Walkman, the trading cards, so much Chicago Bulls, Chicago Bears, like merch, so much hockey merch. Did you see the Ice-T poster at one point?
No.
Massive Ice-T poster alongside, of course, the life-size Michael Jordan cardboard cutout. But I did notice one thing that was a bit disappointing about Buzz's room. It was a poster of another NBA player. You know who the NBA player was?
Can I have a clue?
Didn't play for the Chicago Bulls, where they live.
Wasn't Mark Jackson by any chance, was it?
It was
Is it Charles Barkley?
Isaiah Thomas.
Oh, interesting.
Pistons, which was a terrible, someone screwed up there. I hope someone got fired for that.
No, but when you think about it, I'm surprised. Well, not surprised, but that kind of makes sense, because if it would have been filmed in probably the late 80s, 89 probably.
What I'm saying is Detroit were like Chicago's mortal enemy at the time.
Yeah, understandable, but maybe he was just a basketball fan. I don't know.
He might have enjoyed the rivalry.
Yeah, maybe.
The two big guns.
13-year-olds take sides, though. Anyway, that's my one.
Yeah, that's true.
One gripe with Buzz's Room. Apart from that, I loved it.
17-year-olds don't take sides, though.
Buzz doesn't really strike me as really a sports guy anyway.
No.
I have other theories on him why he's a bully there.
Now, it's probably not like a Simpsons episode in the fact that, best quotes and things like that, but we'll go best bits quotes now, and then we'll delve into the character draft after. So we'll start with you, Simon. Favorite bit, and then we'll just kind of go around and reel off some things that we enjoyed.
Favorite bit? We don't really have one, to be honest with you. That's a terrible answer, but guess the getting on.
You were a terrible person to start with.
Yeah, move on to someone else. I got nothing for that.
Pat, do you have any favorite bits or not?
Oh, definitely.
Good.
Couple are going to be top of the list. One of them's got to be, "Look what you did, you little jerk," and just almost anything from Uncle Frank, who you are like, you're still watching, knowing who he is, like for the 400th time. What are you watching this, and you're like seething? He's such a prick. But you also got to be like, that's the character. This actor has absolutely nailed this role. But I was thinking a lot about Uncle Frank in this rewatch. Is Fuller his son?
Yeah, I think so.
He's going pretty well at his age to be knocking him out. He looks about 70. But yeah, I like that. And you got the classic Fuller, go easy on the Pepsi, and he gives the eyes, which is a good meme going around. Or
creepy grin.
Yeah.
What a grin. What a grin. What an actor for like a 6-year-old or a 5-year-old or something to be able to do that.
How good is he going now? He must be the biggest actor currently from this movie.
It was at that moment that I realised who he was.
Roman Roy.
Yeah, Roman Roy.
Yes, didn't know that.
Either Roman Roy / Kieran Culkin or Catherine O'Hara, who's from Schitt's Creek.
Yeah. I was thinking that as well, but I was like, at least Schitt's Creek's ended, so I suppose.
It's not the dad. It's not the dad, sadly. R.I.P.
R.I.P. Yeah. Couple of fun, like honestly, as you said, Uncle Frank, really funny. But we'll come to him maybe in the character draft. He might get selected. But also Gus Polinski really steals the show. With a couple of moments.
Who is Gus Polinski? I don't know who that is.
John
Polka.
Oh, John. Every moment. But go on.
One bit in particular, actually a couple bits, but when he's talking about the time he left his kid in the funeral home and just trying to make her feel better, he's like, he was okay. After 6 or 7 weeks, he started talking again.
That's quite good. That's almost like a Simpsons line, that.
Yeah. And the he's also, when he's talking to Kate in the van, and they're all playing their, I think this is because I like Father Ted, and Simon, you may have picked this up as well. I think I don't even know what he's playing, clarinet or something.
Clarinet.
Like, do you want to play? Go ahead. Go ahead. Just like Mrs. Doyle goes, go on.
Tea, father.
One minor correction on that, because I also know this down because it was so funny. He leans over, like in the clarinet in her direction, says, "Do you play?" Like it's like a guitar or something like that. Like one of the most obscure incidents of all time, and he's like, assuming she plays the clarinet. I loved it, Sam. That's a great point about John Candy, the great John Candy, robbed of a lot of his greatness. Probably we were after watching this. I felt a bit sort of sad, really.
100%.
Oh, can I? Oh, have you got more bits? Because I've got one now.
Now we're ready for your bit. Now.
Oh, yeah. Now I was just going through my copious notes here. A bit that's not really funny, but I love the church scene.
That's great.
I'm not a faith-filled person. But I thought the church scene was fantastic. I mean, when Christ was born is just an absolute banger of a carol. Like when the choir is belting out when Christ was born, I'm just getting goosebumps. It is an absolute banger. The church is epic. Like as New Zealanders, I mean, churches are obviously sacred places and whatnot, but they're very humble, and when you go overseas, these epic churches that exist are just so grand in scale, and the church is amazing, and the carol's amazing. The chat with old man Marley is obviously the capper on all of that, and some quite just another note there that I hadn't realised, some quite overt Christian messaging, which were in that scene, like you're always welcome in church, things like that, which I'm neither angry or happy about. I just thought it was an interesting thing that I hadn't noted before. But the whole church scene, I think, is fantastic.
Yeah, Macaulay Culkin gives the old man some great advice, I thought.
It's good conversation.
Many stubborn old men could probably listen to. Not that they're watching Home Alone, but still.
It's a good convo, but there's apart from he really doesn't put the fire out on those rumors about him killing his family. But apart from that, the conversation's good.
He mentions the rumors as well.
Yeah, it's like he's not going to do anything about those rumors. I had one random question, especially because I've watched two recently as well. When it's not something that you can really answer, but it just got me wondering. I wonder if the brother that they're going to see in Paris, Peter's brother, is the same brother that owns the house in New York for number 2.
Rich bastard.
Yeah, Rich, well said.
Got plenty. He's doing that big reno on that massive place in New York.
The McAllister Fano, they're doing okay.
They're absolutely minted.
The
house is huge.
The house is a joke, and this is also the first time I realized there was like 6 siblings. I thought it was just Buzz and Kevin.
Yeah, those other ones don't even look like part of the family, do they? Christopher Columbus filmmaker, definitely a Christian.
Yeah. I was just surprised by because this is the mainstream films. They tend to steer clear of that sort of thing. So that was interesting.
He's done some heaps of films, Chris Columbus. I
don't know.
Pat, anything else from you?
No, I just loved it's a good step back in time, the 90s, especially like going through the airport and there's no security. This movie's obviously before the invention of the alarm clock as well. I like that.
The entire family. Can we talk about the entire family sleeping in for 1 second?
All 30 of them. Just
ridiculous. Like I've got 2 children. And I haven't had an alarm clock for 5 years. And not use an alarm clock for 5 years, and somehow 30 people like 3 hours beyond what is considered a reasonable time. Utterly ridiculous. But it holds up. It bloody holds up.
And every family has a person in it who likes to get to the airport 3 hours before, just in case they've left their passport at home, and then have the time to drive back and get it, and then still catch their flight.
That was Frank.
Uncle Frank.
We not optimistic about catching the flight.
A couple of bits I'd just like to shout out to quickly. Anytime Harry mutters when he's going from one thing to another.
You mean Muttley?
Oh. Yeah, it is quite Muttley, isn't it?
And when he's like real pissed off with his whole family. He's upstairs. He's like, when I grow up and get married, I'm living alone.
I wrote that one down as well. That was good. Yeah.
Oh, shit. And I didn't mention it before, but good bit of Kramer physical comedy again goes to Fuller when he gets smushed against the wall.
Oh, yeah, by the chair. Yeah. That's good.
Oh god, that bit got me lolling.
She had a bit of a chuckle at one of the mum's lines when she's trying to buy that old couple's plane ticket off them.
Yep.
She's trying to sell all the things that she's got on her. And the old lady goes, "Is that a Rolex?" And she goes, "Do you think it is?"
The husband in that scene, the old husband, he's fantastic in a Seinfeld episode, by the way.
Really?
Oh, right.
Yeah, he's
she looks quite familiar.
old elderly curmudgeon who's just absolutely miserable prick. He's fantastic. I got a couple of other things to note before we. What's the next thing we're doing? Character draft, is it?
Yeah.
I'll quickly do these. If I had an MVP for this movie, obviously you probably have to choose a character, but I want to choose the musical theme. Speaking of bangers, that na, 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 is absolutely fantastic. So, shout out to that musical theme because it's absolutely brilliant.
I think like that and the soundtrack is like I was just on this rewatch. I was like, I feel like this is pretty much like the Christmas playlist for everyone our age.
Mm-hmm.
Well, I'd much rather listen to that on repeat than fucking Christmas carols on repeat.
Sure. Us also, at some point, he's asked why are you not even worried? He's like, 3 reasons. 1, he says the reason. 2, says the reason. And D, which is great. And finally, want to shout out to McAllister's bed. That looks like one of the most comfortable beds of all time.
It does.
Beautiful, beautiful duvet. What a bed. I'd love that to be my bed.
Sorry, just one little tidbit I heard of. When Kevin goes, "Buzz, your girlfriend." Woof.
Of course we do. What a line.
That's not even a girl in that picture. It's actually the son of the film's art director.
Other tip that I didn't look up, so I might be wrong, but I've looked it up on previous years because, as you know, Sam, I'm a Wikipedia nerd. I think
internet nerd.
Yeah, I think from memory, the movie that Kevin keeps watching when the pizza guy comes around, you filthy animal, is a fake movie, right?
Yeah, that's correct. Yeah, I think it was on that what's that Netflix series, Films That Made Us. Yeah, they just made that for, and that's in both movies. Oh, it's the same thing for both movies. The Tommy gun guy in the second movie as well. It's the same.
That's cool.
Oh, really?
Yeah, I'd love to see like the original footage of them like filming that fake movie for this movie.
Before we go into the character draft, I'm also looking forward to my eyesight deteriorating. So when someone forgets something catastrophic, I can say, well, if it makes you feel any better, I forgot my reading glasses.
Oh, shit, yeah, that was good. All right, I've got my names here to pull out of a hat. Character draft. Simon, you mentioned you wanted 1 and 6. Could you explain? Oh, actually, we'll see what you get, and then you can tell us maybe after the first pick. First pick is none other than Simon.
Oh, okay. Cool.
And then it's me second, and that means, Pat, you are 3rd and 4th. I think I would prefer 3rd and 4th. Simon.
Insert joke about our absent friend here, not understanding snake drafts, but yeah, I mean, I was happy about 1st and 6th because I feel like there are enough characters to still get a quality 6th pick. First pick, I'm not absolutely stoked about because I feel like there's several you could say and they'd be really good picks. And this is a hipster pick. You're going to be disappointed in me at home, but Gus.
Yeah.
Gus.
Gus is my pick for first pick.
The poker king of the Midwest.
King of the
He was my number one pick.
He steals every scene he is in. And you wonder how much is ad-libbed and how much is actually on the script. Didn't he say how big they were and how many copies did they sell? Like 170?
I think 680 something in Sheboygan.
Very big in Sheboygan.
Very big in Sheboygan.
I just thought he stole every scene he was in and he's barely in it and goes to say a lot about the genius of John Candy, I think. He is that good.
Just to follow on from that, he just did his entire role in one day of filming. Absolute hero. And he improvised the story about leaving the kid at the funeral parlor.
That's outstanding.
Yeah, I thought there had to be some improv somewhere there.
She must have been losing at him improving that story.
Oh, yeah. And how it pans around to all those other absolute losers in that band.
Second pick, and he was very close to my Gus Polinski, but Uncle Frank is an absolute genius.
You won't be able to see this at home, but Pat just was furious that Sam picked Uncle
Laptop
Frank.
almost went out the window. That was my number one.
So many good quotes, like him trying to, like wanting the free champagne and stealing the crystal, or getting his wife to steal the crystal from the plane. Look what you did, you little jerk. The reading glasses, and actually probably my favorite quote of his is like he's trying to look real crestfallen on the plane. He's like, horrible, just horrible. He's kind of referred to as like the joke, and no one really likes him. And like at the end when Kevin's like asking for his family to be all right, and if he has time, my Uncle Frank talking to Santa.
Yeah. Even separates my auntie and cousins, and then he adds on Uncle Frank after it. That's good stuff.
So we're going with Gus 1, Frank 2. Big fall off to pick number 3, I reckon.
No.
I'm taking him off the table. I'm taking the one that everyone wants. It's Officer Balzak. Mostly because they called him Officer Balzak. And he also plays Carl on Billy Madison.
So he's the one who like redirects the phone call, eh?
Yeah, he gets the call. He answers Officer Balzak.
Yeah, that's good. Not bad. I didn't actually have him on my list.
Do you note in that amazing 1 minute that he's on, that bit of donut that just like sticks to the phone? It's absolutely disgusting and absolutely
that whole scene of them getting redirected like to just two people over 3 calls bouncing back is quite good. And I'll go straight into my number 4. Someone's got to take him. I feel like no one's going to take him. I'll take Kevin.
That's like Simon taking a Spice Girl.
Great pick.
Yeah, well, I mean, I did take the alien off the table in that episode. But Macaulay Culkin, he's got to be the best child actor of the 90s. In his marquee role, he just absolutely kills in this movie. He must have been a genius of a kid. Very weird guy now, but seems nice enough. I'll take Kevin off the table at number 4.
Yeah, completely agree. I just want to say that my kid is 5. He's pretty smart. I think Macaulay Culkin was like 7 or 8 or something when he did this. Like my kid They have no chance. I mean, what he does in this movie is quite incredible, really, for someone of that age.
Unreal. We're not talking about the actor though, so that's a bad pick. Um, we I got quite a few. I got quite a few that I could go with here. Could go obscure. I feel like I'm leaving a bit of meat on the bone. Not taking either Marv Merchants or Harry Lime. But I'm gonna go with the aforementioned Fuller McAllister.
Oh wow!
He was also on the list.
Wow.
Yeah, very good.
Yeah, Fuller's fantastic. I could have made a mistake there by taking him, but again, he steals every scene that he's in. I had to pair the father-son duo. Maybe we'll talk about the Wet Bandits if Simon picks one of them sixth.
I'm still skeptical whether Fuller's really Uncle Frank's good.
Hit us up in the slacks at home.
Lenny?
Yeah, so just want to say that Balzak and Fuller are terrible, terrible picks.
I think we just have different opinions on the character draft than you do. I would never have picked a Spice Girl in the Spice Girl movie.
Awful picks, both. And I think it's going to be. You've made my pick very, very hard, really, because I'm picking between the Wet Bandits. I'm picking between him and Old Man Marley. I'm picking between Mrs. McAllister.
Buzz.
As well, Buzz. So, I'm not happy that you've left me with so many good choices. But I feel like I'm going to go with Mrs. McAllister.
Ooh.
She brings a bit of gravitas to the movie and does a genuinely good job. I think there was one part where she kind of smiled when they were left at the airport. It was a bit weird. I don't know why you'd be smiling at any point, but I think she did a great job overall. And you kind of felt her pain as a mother. And that last scene, the scene where she shows up and sees Kevin, I think she does a wonderful job there. So I'm going to go with Mrs. McAllister.
She was not on my list. I think I would have gone Marv over Harry.
Nah, not me.
I would have gone the other way. I would have gone Harry over Marv. JP.
But over them, just an honourable mention, I would have picked the Santa getting into his car.
It's
good. It breaks down, doesn't it?
And I thought Pat was going to pick him.
Yeah, that would have been my Officer Balzak type pick. Someone that pops up for about 20 seconds.
The other character who I had forgotten about entirely, who was really funny, was that little kid who comes when they're leaving for the airport and just asks all those annoying questions to the van driver.
Yeah.
He was very good too, but couldn't pick him.
Carrying on from the Wet Bandits, this is just a little bonus question for you guys. What was your favourite gag? So when I say gag, I mean what was Kevin's best trap that he set?
Booby trap?
Booby traps. I've got a few here. We've got slippery steps. We've got the hot handle. The iron in the light.
Yeah.
The tar plus single nail, which Marv somehow stands on. The blowtorch setup. The glue and feathers, which is just mildly annoying. Decorations on the floor, which again somehow Marv has no shoes on and stands on them, and the paint cans. Pat?
Well, they set up his shoes coming off throughout the movie. They kept coming off. He keeps losing through the door.
Oh, I didn't notice that.
Yeah. So harsh on my number 4 pick, Kevin. There. I'm going to go with your just mildly annoying. I like the chicken suit, and he gets glued by the wrap, and he's just getting it off his face. and then he takes that extra step. It's a good contraption. Blows all the feathers all over him. He looks
Great.
like a big old chicken.
Yeah, I was going to have a go at the single nail, but you did a very good job of eviscerating that, Sam. So that was good. Good hosting. For me, it's the hot handle. I think it's probably something you would most likely to get fooled by in real life, as opposed to the nail, or the Christmas decorations, just not looking down at the ground. So yeah, the hot handle for me.
Do you reckon there were any traps that didn't come off? Did he set any that because you could have just not stood on the nail or like gone in a different way.
Yeah, there's a great
extras that didn't get used.
There's a great Family Guy clip, Home Alone with competent robbers, which you should look up. It's very funny.
Look, I did like the blowtorch contraption. But my favourite was definitely the iron in the light. And just the fact that Marv had it imprinted on his face for the rest of the film, I thought was really good.
Very similar
he takes his time to get out of the way of that iron, doesn't he, Marv? He's got a good 3 or 4 seconds to move. He's like, nah, I'll just take this one.
Interesting, we did a character draft and neither Wet Bandit got taken. I don't know what that tells about their acting performance or just their character in the film.
Oh, you and
Pat probably just we assumed that the other ones were going to take them.
You and Pat made bad choices, but that's all right.
Oh, mate, hit us up in the Slacks if you think Uncle Frank and Bloody Fuller are not good picks.
What about Officer Balzak?
Good. They're good 4th or 5th. Fourth. Nah, Frank. I didn't have a problem with Frank. Just Fuller.
Fuller's genius. All right. Pat, do you want to lead this next part? Because I don't watch films anymore. The recasting of Home Alone. Now, I think the kid's probably going to be quite hard. But maybe the Wet Bandits, the parents, maybe Buzz and Old Man Marley.
I've got the kids are hard because I don't know. I don't watch Nickelodeon anymore, so I don't know who kid child actors are, and I don't know if Nickelodeon exists.
What about Jonathan Taylor
Thomas?
I'll
go. I've got Peter and Kate. I'm just looking for basically on-screen relationships, and I was almost going to go the Modern Family couple, but I went with the couple from Knocked Up and This Is 40. I've got Paul Rudd and Leslie Mann for Peter and Kate. And I think Leslie Mann could do a very good "Come on," which would be good. I'm going to take Harry and Marv next. I'm going to go Adam Sandler for Harry. I think he can mutter his way through some good lines there. And Bill Hader is my Marv. Uncle Frank can be as old as you like, so you just want something grumpy as hell. So I'm going to have Bill Murray in there.
Bill Murray will be good.
Gus Polinski is going to be Jack Black, and it's just bit of a twist on that. He can basically be Tenacious D in the back of the van, taking Kat back home. And like you said, the kids are pretty hard, so I'm going to bring it back home. I'm going to have Kevin as Julian Dennison. Is he still a kid? And Buzz can be Jason Hoyt.
That's good. I think I'd have Bill Murray as John Candy's character, Polinski.
He wouldn't be bad.
Just for the comedic role. There's a bald guy who'd be a real good Uncle Frank, who's in heaps of movies. Shit.
David Letterman as Marley. Who would you have as Old Man Marley?
Ooh.
Well, I'd have the guy that plays Officer Balzak, who's also Carl on Billy Madison.
He's dead, isn't he?
Now. If he isn't, he'd be close.
Oh, he's still with us. He's
Is he?
Is he? No, he was also in Seinfeld. He played Kramer in the pilot, where they had their own. They tried to create their own show. He played Kramer in the quote unquote new Seinfeld show.
What about Clint Eastwood as Old Man Marley?
Love the pick. That's even better than David Letterman, who's never done any serious acting in his life. I think that's good.
Just thinking about him in Gran Torino, he's real grumpy in that. Sweet.
Great. I've got one question though before we leave.
Yeah.
Why is Evan so memorable? Is that the iconic? And there are many moments in the movie, but that is the one that everyone knows, or is it not?
No, you're right. It is.
No,
and, like
Isn't
having
the face-
the nephews that are older that have just rewatched it, they do that as well.
Yeah.
Evan. I thought the face was more iconic than that.
Oh, the slap. Yeah.
Which is just like not even really a part of the movie, hardly.
It's also iconic. I agree. I agree. It is definitely iconic. What is the most iconic moment in Home Alone? Hit us up in the slacks.
That's where I've seen him, that Officer Balzak. He's in Breaking Bad.
He is. He's still alive as well. So, yeah.
Who are we talking about? Larry Hankin, born
He can be my shoveler.
1946. Still alive.
He'd be a really good Old Man Marley.
He wouldn't have the gravitas. Wouldn't have the mana to carry that role out.
Oh, madness. All right. I better wish everyone a Merry Christmas. On that, we are going to take a brief hiatus.
We're flat out. Right.
Yeah, flat out dealing with getting over Christmas. So we may not put a podcast up for a couple of weeks. We've got a few things to get through though, so we'll come roaring back probably end of January, start of February. But if you want to hit us up on the socials, Instagram, WIWT90S, or on our Facebook page, Twitter, although Elon Musk may have blown it up by then.
Yeah,
So,
give us some suggestions. We've tried nothing and we're all out of ideas.
We still have the finale of X-Men to come.
We've got some big things coming up next year. Some big announcements.
Yeah, and we've passed 2,000 downloads now.
A lot of stuff in the pipeline.
So yeah, we need your support and give us some ideas. We're fresh out. All right, cheers, guys.
Nice. We got plenty.